Let's see if I am muted right now. I'm not. Okay, good. Hi, and welcome to the Build with Bear Workshop. My name is Pat Bear. I'm here to build a model kit and also hang out with all of you. And the local recording will not have what happened on the live stream. So there you go. Live stream viewers, something special. If you're watching this later on the VOD on Twitch, something special for you. If you're watching it later on YouTube, whatever. I'm working on a model kit. It's the Roundtable Knights Iron Sickle Kai. You can see it right here. We have not built the scythe for it yet. Now, you may say, Pat, it's called the Iron Sickle Kai. So it's a sickle, not a scythe. It's really a scythe, honestly. If you look at it, that's a scythe. Also, it's not called the sickle. It's called the Sicky because they put an I instead of an L. SNAA, they're not always swinging perfectly. Sometimes they mess up. I mess up too sometimes, as you just saw. We'll go to the overhead camera. So if you have not been following along on this build, what I can tell you is it is, in many ways, a beautiful nightmare. This kit looks fantastic. I have been very excited to work on it, to build it, to see the progress I've made. I think it looks very, very cool. It's a pain in the fucking ass to build. The tolerances are just off on so many things. There have been so many times where I've had to disassemble a part to like clip a piece off, like a piece of plastic that is structural. One of the connecting joints in the arm here just completely disintegrated. I'm not saying broke. I'm saying like in 3 places it just fell apart. So it's glued together. So the arm now does not bend because I can't bend it. If I can bend it here, but I basically glued it in place so that it wasn't in 2 different pieces. And like I said, I did not put a ton of pressure on that. It just disintegrated. So I am also like considering getting the scythe in place and then adding some liquid cement and just, well, that's, you know, that's just user error. That's not on the kit. But I am deeply considering getting this hand in position, the arm in position where I want it, and then gluing it just for structured stability. Yeah, this kit looks great for the price. I must say, for the price, this is a phenomenal kit. Let me just double check here how much this was with you know, let me check. I believe I got it at USA Gundam store. I don't know for sure, but I'm going to look it up. I'm going to go to my account. And then I'm going to go to my orders. And I'm going to see if I can find it. Oops. Nope, that's not what I want. Come on. My account. My orders. Here it is. This kit was $27. This is a lot for $27. Now, obviously, paid for shipping. That, you know, I would have gotten, you know, I got multiple things, so that's kind of fine. But for $27, this is kind of impressive. You know what? Not kind of. That's rude. This is definitely fucking impressive. That this is a that I got this for $27. That is impressive. But it is also kind of a fucking bummer in a lot of ways. So we'll get into it. We'll keep working on the leg here. But I did want to just say, if you're looking to try out something from SNAA, just do that with the understanding that some of these might be a little off. Some of the things you're going to get might need some customization, some finagling. There's going to be plenty of pieces with undergating in a way that you were not expecting. There will be pieces that just don't quite fit right, and you have to do some alterations to make it work. And the instructions are okay, but not great. Overall, it is just like kind of a mess. You know, not a bad mess, but kind of a mess. That is my big takeaway. I wouldn't get another SNAA kit anytime soon. Um, but in the future, if I saw a kit that looked very cool and it turned out it was from them, I wouldn't be against it. But like, it is just a little, it's just enough of a frustration that I wouldn't want to deal with it anytime soon. I'll say that. If they do put out another kit that has a big scythe, or they have a whole line of knights. I do like knights with a K. I do like a knight themed kit. So like, I'm not opposed to finding another one of those and building that. But I am just like kind of over it, kind of done with it. Ready to move on to the next build, which should be simpler. Should be actually a one-stream build, I think. So that's nice. Got something in my eye. Pardon me. I went for a walk today. Man, my Saturday walks are... I just had to get out of the house, if you know what I mean. Like, I just spend too much time in the confines of this house and in the immediate yard around it. So I needed like to get out and walk around a bit, and I'm glad I did, even though it was so hot, so warm and so hot and so warm. It was a lot. There was a lot out there, and I was like, oofta. But again, I am glad I went out there, even if it was very warm, and I was unhappy with how much I was sweating. I'm still glad I did it. You know, you know what I'm saying. You know. Glad to be out there, even if it was like, ugh. Let's see what else. Let's see. I need some pieces here. Gonna get some white armor on here. Tonight we will finish this leg, and then we will panel line it, and then I will move on to the backpack and finally build the big scythe. And then put on the shield, put on the backpack, put on the shield, put on the scythe, and then build the stand, and put this kit on the stand, which all sounds good. There are some stickers. I bet these are awful to put on, so I don't think I will be doing that. I'm not going to worry about the stickers that came with this kit. That's some post building thing that I could do if I wanted to, but honestly, I don't really want to. I do have the next kit to build. My $10 patrons did vote on what I'm working on next, so I do have that in case that we get started tonight. But I think this will... What I should say here is, I am not convinced that that any step I have after this will be simple, purely because of how annoying some other parts of this build have been. Even if the other leg that I built here was fine, I can't say that the backpack will be fine, that the scythe will be fine, that the shield will be fine, that the stand will be fine. I can't say any of those will just work well right out the gate, because I ran into so many issues here and there. So I'm like, I'm not going to pretend. The foot gave me trouble last time, so I'm, F8 and then F6 here. This piece, the F8, gave me some trouble. I don't really have a lot to chat with you about tonight. I haven't really done much of anything. There wasn't a lot of news that often happens on Saturday. Saturday often has very few news stories. So I thought that we could talk about AEW Redemption, which is next Sunday, AEW pay-per-view. I'll wait until probably Thursday or Saturday of next week to actually give my predictions when the full card is out there. But I should say, we do know 6 matches. One of which was decided like 2 weeks ago. 4 were decided on Dynamite on Wednesday, and then a 5th match, or the 6th match, another match was decided. A challenge was put out after the show on social media, which I believe was included on tonight's Collision, which I have not seen yet. So there are so far 6 matches on the card of varying, substance and quality. And so I thought we could go through that. I do have to struggle with this back piece like I did on the other side. I imagine I'll struggle here. Lasper says, yeah, I went out today to get breakfast and browse thrift stores in one big walking loop, and even the sunscreen and protection after an hour or so, I was wiped. Yeah, it's just, it's a kind of heat that drains you. It just takes it out of you. Like going for a 45-minute walk just like kind of ruined me for a lot of my day. And eventually I was like feeling better, but I'm going to take this off the leg here. This piece shouldn't be frustrating, but it is frustrating. Okay, there we go. Got that together. I'm just going to keep this off here while I get these figured out here. So we knew about Tekla versus Willow Nightingale. That's Tekla defending the World Championship against Willow Nightingale next Sunday. Also, apparently, that show's starting an hour earlier than normal AEW pay-per-views. I don't think they've said it on TV yet, but according to the ticket website, the broadcast will begin at 7 p.m. Eastern, with 6 p.m. being the pre-show, which is, I wonder if there is a curfew in the building or something. But also, that sounds great to me. I can be available at 6 p.m. for the pre-show, and I would love for that show to start an hour early. That sounds awesome to me. Again, no real confirmation on that as far as television, but yeah, Willow won the gauntlet. She's challenging Tekla. Willow Nightingale, due to, unfortunately, a flight cancellation, could not have her match in Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. This is now 2 times that Willow Nightingale has been scheduled to wrestle at TJPW and has not been able to. The first issue was apparently visa problems. This time was apparently her flight got canceled and she couldn't make it in time. So if they book Willow again, they're going to have to try to book her with like plus or minus time, I guess. I can only imagine she was going to cut it close. Lastberg says, you want to say that Tony, they're going to start the earlier because people complained. Yeah, I mean, I guess that could be possible, that they're just like, fine, we'll do it. I'll do it an hour early. Well, considering it seems like the experiment of doing the TNT and the TNT pre-show experiment seems to be over. It makes sense. They can kind of just do it whenever. So, I don't know. I don't mind it. But yeah, Willow couldn't make her TJPW show, which is a real shame. I have not seen that. That happened last night into this morning. But I've heard good things about her replacement, Chris Brooks versus Mizuki. That sounds like a very fun fucking matchup. So I am interested in seeing how that turns out. Also on the card, Mark Davis is defending the AEW National Championship against Andrade El Idolo. Andrade is too big a deal for a mid-card title. A man that is trying to win the world title. Having the mid-card title feels weird. On the other side, Andrade El Idolo should absolutely 100% not lose to Mark Davis. It feels like a match that is bad booking. But again, also, the TNT champion is taking on the world champion, trying to win the world belt. So who the fuck knows? Mid-card titles apparently don't mean you're in the mid-card. They just mean you have another belt. Interchangeable belts, because the TNT champion, Kevin Knight, is taking on Kenny Omega, the world champion, in a match that feels like, oh, Kenny Omega just wanted to wrestle Kevin Knight before he loses the belt at All In. Okay. Like, I don't know how many times Kenny's going to defend the title, but I don't know. That's kind of cool. It feels like sorry to say, it feels like Kenny Omega versus Kevin Knight, to me, feels like a Dynamite main event. A good Dynamite main event, but Dynamite main event. But Kevin Knight getting the main event at a pay-per-view, that is fucking cool. So I'm not going to say that isn't cool, but it feels a little weird. God. I'm going to skip one of these and come back to it because I want to talk about a match that I also think is cool. Kyle Fletcher is defending the AEW International Championship against Bandito. That fucking rules. That rules so much. I think that they should have Bandito win. I think Bandito, he is the AEW, he's the Ring of Honor World Champion. The Ring of Honor World Champion should stop losing all the fucking time. If he had the International Championship, he could lose it, or he could lose the Ring of Honor title and it wouldn't be a big deal, or he could give it up. I think it is time to finally have him not be the Ring of Honor champion. I know they won't do this. I know that this match will be 25 minutes when it only needed to be 18 to 20 because that's Kyle Fletcher's MO. I do not see Kyle Fletcher losing that belt so soon, but I want him to. Because I also don't, I don't know, I think it would be more fucking interesting if he lost that goddamn belt than if he just beats Bandito. I don't know. The challenge was made via social media and is apparently confirmed. Cope and Cage, that's Adam Copeland and Christian Cage, or Cage and Cope. They're the tag champions, and they have issued a challenge for a world title match, a tag team match, against Claudio Castagnoli and Pac. Which is annoying. Do I think that Pac and Claudio are bad wrestlers? Of course, I fucking don't think that. I think they are fantastic wrestlers. I think they both will do a great job. They're not a tag team. Now, you could make an argument that Claudio and Wheeler Yuta had a good thing going for quite some time. When they were focusing on tagging with one another, that was a great tag team. Claudio and Pac, not a tag team. There are so many... AEW has so many wrestlers, period, of course. But they also have an absolute abundance of professional wrestlers who can professionally wrestle that are tag team specialists. There are so many actual tag teams. You would think that old men, 50-plus-year-old men, like Adam Copeland and Christian Cage, could teach younger talent by wrestling them so much. Claudio Castagnoli and Pac do not need lessons in wrestling, and they do not need lessons in tag team wrestling. They are not a tag team. It is a real shame that a novelty act, that a nostalgia act, are the tag champions in a promotion that clearly has so many excellent tag teams. It is a shame. Babyface side, heel side, there are so many people who are phenomenal tag teams. To have these guys, also, not for nothing, they have been outside of that company for a long time. It is maybe shitty of me to say this, but man, I do not need 4 former WWE guys all in the ring together. I just don't need it. I just don't need that. man, it's a to me this is a fucking bummer of a match. Like, yeah, I don't want to see the dogs face them again, but like, I don't know. Ugh. And they're in Canada. The pay-per-view's in Canada. So fucking, I don't know. Copeland and Christian Cage being on that pay-per-view makes sense. Right now, most of the uninjured Canadians in the company have something to do. Speedball Mike Bailey, does not have a match yet. I hope that Speedball does. It would be a shame because I know that Speedball is going to do a lot of promo, a lot of radio, a lot of TV appearances to promote, and I hope that like Josh Alexander's injured, so can't have that Canadian-born wrestler, but I would like that Speedball to have something to do because I think Speedball Mike Bailey is a phenomenal talent, and I'm tired of Speedball not doing stuff. Not doing big shit. So, let's talk about the elephant in the room. At Beach Break, which was right after the last pay-per-view, there was a match between Tommaso Ciampa and Chris Jericho, Canadian-born Canadian Chris Jericho. Hey, Lord Crashton. Chris Jericho fought against Tommaso Ciampa. It was a good match. It was a good TV big match with a lot of bullshit on it. I was happy to see it. Apparently, Tommaso Ciampa has not escaped the Jericho vortex, and they are going to have a return bout. And it's not Chris Jericho. It's not Jericho, as he's been calling himself. Tommaso Ciampa is taking on the Painmaker, which was a not even an alter ego. It's just some dumb bullshit that Chris Jericho started doing in New Japan because he was facing big names and he wanted to have a shtick. It's just Chris Jericho in some amount of face paint. That's really all it is. And like a leather jacket, which he also wears as a heel a lot, and a baseball bat, which he also uses a lot. It's one of the dorkiest things. Wrestling is inherently silly and foolish and goofy and fun. At its best, it is a variety show, and some of that variety show is very campy and silly. Wrestling has been described to me as the playground for the athletic who didn't want to be part of sports in high school, and theater kids who turned out to be sadly straight. That is the plight of professional wrestling, American professional wrestling in the 2020s. But Chris Jericho, Painmaker, as far as I can tell, is not a joke or a rib or him playing up the fact that people think that he is ridiculous. As far as I can tell, he thinks it's fucking cool, and we're supposed to think it's cool, and not like a heel thing where it's just like, oh, the heel likes this, but like, no, this is obviously silly, and it's funny because they think they're trying to take it seriously. No, he takes it seriously, and he also wants us to take it seriously and think it's awesome. And it's not. It's bad. And it makes... Now, he has been known to be silly in some instances. I'm not saying that Tommaso Ciampa is not silly. But it makes this feud feel comical in a way that it did not need to be. I mean, I would argue it did not need to happen at all, but that's, unfortunately, we are past that point. We are way past that point. Like, it is a thing that exists. And we have to, unfortunately, deal with that. This thing popped out. Didn't like that. It sucks. Every part of it sucks. I hate the Painmaker. It's bad and dumb. Jericho's going to win. I think he shouldn't. I think he should lose to Tommaso Ciampa again because I think it sucks that Chris Jericho never actually loses the feud. He wins every feud he's in unless he drops like a main title, and then he'll win a rematch if, you know, a non-title match or something. He always gets winning. He never lost to Big Bill or Brian Keith. Now, Big Bill is out of the company. Brian Keith's still there, and he should lose to Brian. He should have lost to Brian Keith. Should have had a match with either of those guys. Just kind of fizzled out. He left instead for a break, and then he was back. And that's a bummer. Yeah, man. Whoops, that did not work. I went to close the leg, and instead, it just fell the fuck apart. That's not good. Let's try that one more time. Remove what we got to remove here. What ended up happening was I went to go push this down, and instead, it did not want to do that. So we'll see if we can get this reconnected here. Put this piece on there. Okay. And we'll have the leg kind of like how I want it. Let's see if we can get this. Holy shit. The amount of pressure I'm putting on this is ridiculous. Oh, okay, that came off. Oh, wow. This came off too. Jesus. Like I said earlier, I think this kit is awesome. It's also kind of a fucking nightmare to like work on and to build. And now this is off. Yeah, so much of this is just like almost incredible. A lot of this is like almost phenomenal. And then it kind of just falls apart. Anyway, what am I hoping for on this card? Shida. So my hope would be like, I don't think we're going to get Shida. Shida defended her title tonight against Queen Aminata. I would love for there to be another match for the title, actually on the pay-per-view. I don't want Chris Statlander to reappear and to face Shida for the TBS title, because Chris Statlander has lost the big ones a lot lately, and I don't think she should have another loss. But at the same time, I don't think that Shida should lose the TBS title. So I would like there to be another option. Thunder Rosa, Hyan, you know, Maya World. I don't love the idea of Maya World also losing the TBS title opportunity, but like that could be something cool. I just don't want it to be Statlander versus Shida. I think that would be a problem. It sounds like you should celebrate finishing by throwing it at a wall and watch it explode. Yeah, no, I think I'm just going to finish this kit and then try not to ever think about it again. And I think that'll be my reward. Okay, so I got the leg on. Let's get the back skirt on here, which is not on there. Okay. Okay, so I got to put this on like this. And then this piece goes on here. I'm going to keep... So this piece is if you want to put the scythe on the back of it. But I'm going to take this and keep this piece off, because this is how you attach the... what do you call it? God, I'm blanking. This is how you attach the stand that it comes with. I got to get that on there. And I think I'm going to have to completely disassemble this to get this back on, because this just goes on here, and then these go in. Can open this like this. Yeah, I can take that off. Okay. At least I'm like learning how to put this thing together as it falls apart constantly and really fucking annoys me. I'm like learning how to get this to work. I'm probably gonna have to take this piece off. Yep. I'm like better understanding the ins and outs of this kit as I constantly have to reassemble and fix problems on it. So that's fun. Anyway, that's AEW pay-per-view. I would love Speedball to be involved in something. I don't know what that is. The trios, it would be nice if the trios boys had something going on. I don't know who they're could be feuding with right now. Actually, I guess they're feuding with either Ricochet, the Demand, Ricochet and them, or maybe they're feuding with possible new members of the Demand, the Swirl, the Lethal Swirl. So my guess is we're getting Demand versus our boys, and I would see the conglomeration continuing to keep those titles. That's my guess anyway. I don't know for sure. That's my guess. Okay, and then we can put this piece on like that, and that's back together. And then let me put the arm back on here. Yeah, and like I said, I don't know who. I don't want it to be Statlander. I think you save Statlander versus Sheeta. Even worse fate, feuding with Jay Lethal. Yeah, that's where we're at now. I think they're in a they're like in a side feud. Now, if you're going to do the conglomeration versus the Lethal twist at the pre-show of the pay-per-view, then that makes some sense. I don't know. Let's see. Right now, Jon Moxley does not have anyone that he's facing. I could see Moxley not having an opponent at the pay-per-view and just being in maybe in a tag team with Will, just to do something. I don't know. As a warm-up. Maybe that's what they're going to do. I don't know what they're going to do with that. I think on Wednesday there'll be some other stuff that gets solidified, obviously. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Oops. And okay. Oh, nope. Every time I think I have gotten this together, another piece likes to just fucking fall off. So, but I think that's going to be the thing with this kit, is that it is just wobbly and weak and weird. All right. Let's build the backpack. And then we'll build the parts of the backpack that I don't understand that look like that are little sites. They're little sites that live on the backpack, which is kind of neat. But yeah, we'll get that together here. C1 and C2 are the pieces we need for that. So we'll do that right now. Yeah, C2, 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 and then C1, C1. So we'll do that. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Other than that, I don't know what else on the pay-per-view that I would like to see. So my three things would be TNT defense. As for the women's tag, I guess you could do Brawling Birds versus, I guess, if you wanted to, you could do Brawling Birds versus the Dominion. My thinking is that you do a 6-woman with the Birds and Maya World versus Mercedes and the Divine Dominion. And then that leads to the pay-per-view All In. You have the Birds and versus the Divine Dominion, and then you get your British pop when Brits win so the tag belts. That's my thought. Is that's just a way to have them involved without having them have that match. Just something they step up to help out. As a thing you could do. I don't know. I could also see them do a number one contenders match where they beat Sisters of Sin or something for the number one contender, something like that, and the pay-per-view to keep those ladies involved. And they get beat up enough that they can't help Tekla out when she needs help to, and she loses to Willow. This far out, like that is the one thing I'm like, oh yeah, well, I mean, Willow's gonna win. Like, Kenny's gonna win, and Willow is gonna win. And other ones, I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I assume Cope and Cage retain. It'd be weird if Claudio and Pac won. Kind of neat, but I think it'd be very strange to have them win. But yeah, I feel like Andrade makes sense. Bandito doesn't make any sense, unfortunately. Bandito shouldn't be in this match in the first place. But okay, we're doing it. Yeah. Overall, I'm not like... If this pay-per-view was a Saturday night, I would consider not watching it because I have not been super enthused with AEW, the card. And that is a shame because Kenny, by God, Omega is in this goddamn thing as world champion. And so, like, I want to be excited about this pay-per-view because Kenny is there. Kenny is world champ. That is crazy and great. But I'm not particularly enthused about this card as of right now. That could change. Also, when I talked about how like Speedball was the Canadian that wasn't on the card yet that I most wanted on the card, I didn't include because it won't fucking happen. But pre-show, get me Evil Uno on the card. Get me Evil Uno on the card pre-show. God damn it! I know it won't happen. I understand that. I am not stupid. I know the Evil Uno's not going to end up on this goddamn card, but I want it. I still can want it. Even if I know it's not going to happen. Even if I'm realistic about it. Still want that. This is I'm having issues getting this connected. And I'm like, am I doing this wrong? Is it supposed to go on this side? But that doesn't fit too well. Neither of these fit well. So, okay, that kind of does. But yeah, I would love Evil Uno to end up on that. Like the pre-show. You know, I don't have to win, just on the pre-show. Canada's own. Get Matt Menard and Speedball Mike Bailey on the goddamn pre-show. That sounds great to me. I think that sounds fantastic. I don't think either of those things is going to happen, but I would like it. I'd like them to just support their Canadians. I'm having a lot of trouble. So I'm going to just real quick take this piece off and just see if I can get this even like partially attached. Okay, so if I do it like that, that does go together. So then can I get this piece in after the fact? Just kind of like put it like this. Okay, so I did get that in, which is good. That's in. And now, can I get this piece on top of it? Okay. I did it. I got a good portion of that done. So that's good. That makes me feel good. And now we'll do some other parts with here. Get this going. T17. Other news. There's not much. 32 up to 32 workers have been laid off from ZAM. That's ZAUM, ZAM Studios, which is now just a couple months after Zero Parades for Dead Spies apparently did not hit the financial windfall they were hoping for, they were counting on. They have filed redundancy paperwork that will see the company potentially lay off to 32 employees across all departments. Their quote is, while Zero Parades for Dead Spies was released to critical acclaim, its commercial performance has not enabled us to sustain a studio of our current size. I am not the first person to say this, and I will not be the last person to say this. If it's receiving critical praise, but not hitting with an audience, that's not a developer problem. That's a marketing problem. That means that you're not putting it in front of the right people. To me, that is obviously as an outsider, and I'm also not the only person to say this, but like that, to me, it's just like, all right, so people really liked it. It's just it didn't sell well. That feels like a thing. You don't just get rid of all the people that made the good game. I don't know. Obviously, there's a lot of issues with Disco Elysium, with the whole company, and the CEO, and lots of stuff. And they also had layoffs 2 years ago. It seems to be a mess. Now, these are proposed layoffs because they are a union studio, and they do have about 100 employees. And so this layoffs would be about a third of their staff. So it is not a done deal, but it is a thing they are looking for. But there's a whole thing about like the CEO is just there to be opportunistic and greedy and does not care if it succeeds or fails. That the creators were fostering a toxic work environment, and a lot of reporting on this from various sources, including GameIndustry.biz and People Make Games, basically were like, both seem to be true. It seems to be actually both. That was a nightmare place, and that the CEO is not good at his job. And the creators that left it's probably all for the best that they left to form other studios and try other things. Seems to be anyway. Again, we don't know. Can't say for sure. I need E4. The other news story that another update in the ongoing stupidity of Ryan Cohen, that is the CEO of GameStop. In a perfect world, I would not know the name of GameStop's CEO because it wouldn't be in the news all the time. But unfortunately, we live in a world where I am forced to know this. I have to know this fact, and so I apologize that you also have to know about Ryan Cohen. You may remember Ryan as the guy that, up until recently, was trying to inflate the stock price of GameStop to such a degree that he could get a big payout. Apparently, he realizes he can't do that by the date, so he has moved on to his other plan, which is to buy eBay. He thinks that buying eBay and merging eBay with GameStop would make a retail giant that could rival Amazon. Well, the retail and digital giant. And of course, that sounds insane. That sounds like an insane thing. He did. You may remember that when he did pitch that like, hey, I'd find the money here, here, and here, and our stock price, and all of this, and I'd buy it, and we'd make money for shareholders. You're not making enough money for your shareholders, and I would help you do that. Their response was that the deal that was offered. Also, I should say, his also plan is that the new version of GameStop and eBay, he would be the CEO of that joint new venture. Um, Also, a lot of his plans for um, making even more money at these two companies would be to find ways to lay off a lot of people because there's probably too many employees at eBay, which I'm sure people really thought was a great plan. Anyway, a representative of eBay referred to that as neither his deal is neither credible nor attractive. Basically, they're just like, yeah, what? No, we're good. We don't want that. And what are you even saying? And who are you? Well, basically, he has Ryan Cohen has sold some stock in GameStop in order to have the capital for GameStop to buy 9.8% of eBay shares. So they and is this a attempt at a hostile takeover? Is it an attempt of him saying like, "Hey, I'm going to keep buying shares until you want to make a deal with me"? Who knows? Is he doing this to put pressure on other shareholders to say like, "Well, I'm going to sell to him if you don't sell to him"? I don't know what this plan is. This is about $5 billion in current eBay stock, which is about half of GameStop's total market cap. So at a certain point, they will run at, like, he can't buy enough of that stock before he runs out of money. So it is not a hostile takeover in that respect. It is a threat of some sort of hostile takeover, but it seems highly unlikely that he will have the money or ability to do so. And of course, he makes a bunch of appearances. Ryan Cohen loves to go on to money TV shows, TV shows discuss stock market and all that, where people ask him like questions that he is incredulous about, like, "Hey, what the fuck are you talking about?" Or like, "Well, what do you mean?" And a lot of times they're asking about like, where are you going to get the money to buy eBay? Like, what's your plan to actually have that money and convince them that they should sell to you? And he keeps taking that meaning like, what's my plan after I've bought eBay? And he's just like, we're going to make money. Like that's his plan. His plan is, he's literally buy eBay, offer to buy eBay, question mark, question mark, question mark, profit. Like that's literally it. He's just like, it is wild. What is my goal? I own a lot of stock and I don't have any perverse incentive. So it's to make the business a lot more profitable and maximize shareholder value. So that's a plan. It's not that complicated. And I've spoken about huge growth areas within cutting costs. That's just short term. But live commerce and building out our in-game visual marketplace. So I share that with you. But everyone in the past, I've said, well, what's the business plan? What's the business plan? But they only do that with GameStop for whatever reason. Well, you know what the business plan is to make money. GameStop just reported its highest earnings in the company history with a fraction of the stores. That's because he laid off a bunch of employees. That's why the numbers are good, is because he's not paying for as much health care. Long term, that's nothing and will not help him at all, but sure. Short term gains. And everyone in the media says GameStop was going to fail. So the plan is to make more money. The plan is to maximize shareholder value. And I'm going to go and share my priority plan in every single detail and give it to my competitors. Then that'd be a pretty stupid thing to do. So again, he's not being asked, what are you going to do with eBay if they do sell it to you? He's being asked, how the fuck do you think you're going to buy eBay with the money you have? What are you talking about? What is your mental problem? Is what people are probably nicely asking. Like when they're asking for his plan, they're like, yeah, man, how are you going to try to make this shit work? What are we talking about here? He is delusional. It's crazy. I think he really does want to go on these programs and have people just call him a genius. And he's like getting pretty fucking frustrated that people aren't calling him like that aren't saying that's a great idea and that eBay should let him buy them with money that he doesn't have. Yeah, I don't know. It's very stupid. And it does a little bit hurt my head. It hurts my head just a little bit. Um, yeah. Like maybe eventually he buys so much of eBay stock that investors look at that and go, there's something to be made there. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Um, Also, he didn't like being asked about Sony because physical sales don't matter to him. Collectibles are where it's at. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah. Like GameStop's fucking doomed. Like, yeah. I don't know. It's mostly just incredulous and insane to like look at him and like to hear him say things. So we got some little friends here. We'll do a little panel lining of this, and then we'll put this this whole backpack together. They do want me to build the scythe next, but I want to get the backpack done, and then we'll do everything else here. Let me put this on here. Just a little bit of some color here. We won't really see these too much because I'm not going to hold them, but they're nice little friends here. So we'll give them a little bit of the lining here. Oh, I'm not actually done with these. There's little things. So these get done, and then they get connected to other things, and those things that we're connecting them to actually link them to the backpack here. So we'll get that go. These are the titular iron sickles. So these are sickles. Yeah, these you could say are definitely sickles. The thing that it's going to hold, to me, that's a goddamn scythe. Or remember, sickies. Remember, they're actually more like sickies. A little bit of clear plastic on the backpack. I do like that. That's a nice little bit of detail. And then we got to put on D21 and D20 need to go together. We'll get those together. See if we can get these working and looking good. All right. Okay. And then these connect like that. And then these go in like this. Oops. There is a little bit of a nubbin that I didn't see. There we go. And that goes like that. And then it's got little backpack blades that just kind of live there and can pop out. And that's pretty neat. When we finish this last part here, and then we'll take a pause for the cause. And when we come back from the pause for the cause, we will begin to build the scythe and the shield and wrap up this and the stand and wrap up this goddamn kit. All right. Whoop. And then I gotta make sure I get the nubbin that was on this that I missed on the other one. Gotta be careful. Can't forget this kit is still this kit, and there might be weird parts on here that I have to clip out. Extra nonsense on this. All right, there is the backpack done. And oops, there is a little bit of extra crap on here. All right. Then we will attach this here. There we go. And then these can go, whoops. There. Yeah, they go on the back, and then I guess you could reach up and grab them, theoretically. Okay, so we'll work on the scythe and the shield after the pause for the cause. And get those together, and then work on the stand. And then we'll be basically done with this thing. What I'm going to do now is, folks, I'm going to talk to you about ways you can support the channel. Everything I'm about to tell you is optional. You are under no obligation to do any of these things. But if you would like to support what I do here, you want to help me out, you're more than welcome to do that. First and foremost, if you're currently a subscriber to the Kuma Baer Workshop, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the scythe, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here through Cash Money or your Prime Gaming token. If you have Amazon Prime, you can link it here with your Twitch. You get a token. You use that token for anybody. If you want to use that for me, I would appreciate it. It'd be very nice of you, but you don't have to. You don't have to. Another option is that you could gift some subs. If you're already a subscriber, or if you don't want to be one, but you want to support, you could be like Chibity Crockett Verka, who gifted 5 subs this month. Very kind. You could join the gift sub leaderboard there, or cheer a few bits here and there. That's another way to support what I do here. Optional, as I said, completely optional. But if you wanted to, you certainly could. I have a Patreon at patreon.com/PatBear. Over on my Patreon, there is a bunch of different ways to support me at the $1, $3, $5, or $10 tier. There are different rewards for the different tiers. Consider, if you will, joining me over on Patreon. That would be pretty rad if you wanted to. Okay, again, of course. There is, of course, also my YouTube channel, youtube.com/PatBear. Over on the YouTube, you can subscribe if you would like, for free, of course. And I would appreciate if you consider subscribing over on Patreon. And while you're there, no, it's on Patreon, on YouTube, consider becoming a member. For just $2 a month over on my YouTube, you can become a member, and you will get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. So video series that I do, you won't have to wait until it comes out on Wednesday. You can see it a day early. It's kind of neat. Consider that if you want to. You can consider that. Those are all monthly ways to support me. If you just want to throw something in the tip jar, I have a Ko-Fi and a PayPal, and you can make a direct donation to either of those things. Everything I make through direct donations through YouTube, which includes AdSense, so watching my videos helps me out, through Patreon and through Twitch, all goes into a fund. And from that fund, I pull money out to buy model kits and Lego sets. This kit that I was able to pick up, I pre-ordered this because I was like, I can take a risk on this thing. This thing could be complete garbage or really cool, but it's worth trying. So thank you very much for supporting me and allowing me to do something like that. Now I have I know what I'm building next. I have a backlog of cool shit that I'm excited to work on. If you would like to have a say in what I'm working on, what model kits I'm building, a way to do that is to go to my Amazon wishlist and buy something for me to build. Check out the wishlist. There are model kits and Lego sets, inexpensive things, expensive things, things that are on sale, things that are never on sale. And if you see something there you'd like to see me put together, you can purchase it, and it'll come to me in the mail, and then I will build it on stream. But take a look, see if there's something there. There's some gear as well. Right now, the Gallus J from Gundam Double Zeta is currently on sale for like $27. That's a good price, and it's only on sale for another 5 hours. So if you want to pick that up for me to build, save a little money, have me build a fun green mech, that's kind of neat. I don't know. I just saw that was on sale. I was like, oh, that's cool. You don't have to buy anything again, but if you wanted to, I'm just giving you some opportunities to do so. Wish list. My alternative to Amazon is I have a wish list on Throne. It is nice to have alternatives to Amazon, of course. Over there, you can find some model kits, more curated lists, some stuff from Gundam Planet's on there, and you could buy it through Gundam Planet, but then send it to me. That is the best way to do that. And then if you want to support me financially, hey, Snuffy, welcome. If you want to support me financially and you want to go through a lot of steps to do so, your best bet is to go to USA Gundam Store. At USA Gundam Store, you can buy a gift card. They will send you an email with a gift card code. Then you can send me a whisper here on Twitch or a private message on Blue Sky or Mastodon with that gift card code. And then I will use that gift card code to buy something. Snuffy says, I bought a Gundam, a goddamn model kit. I blame you. Welcome. Congratulations. Look, I understand blaming me. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. If you do like it, I'm sorry. But there is something, an armored core. Hell yeah. There is something very fun about starting with a pile of a bunch of these sprues, and then you're done, and then you've got like a thing, and you're like, holy shit, I got a thing now. It's pretty fucking rad. I recommend it. But also, I know it's not for everybody, but it is for me. Anyway, hey, I have a Discord. Join my Discord. We'll get through this, and then we'll get back to building and conversation and all that. Join the Discord if you haven't already. Let's see. Pat Bear's Anime Club. I have a new episode coming out on Monday. If you haven't watched the previous episode where I talk about all of the different isekai shows that are out this season, all 14 of them, I talked about all 14. You can watch that video and see what I had to say about that. And then Kuma Baer is my weekly anime recommendation series. Every week I recommend a different anime in under a minute because it's a YouTube short series. And this week I talked about one of my favorite shows from the spring 2026 season, Kusanaki's Garden of Gods. This show is very fun and cute and great, and you should check it out. It is a slice of life with a fantasy element about a good dude that is just, he's such a good dude that spirits and gods, minor gods, who are looking to recharge and relax are drawn to him, and it's nice. And occasionally there's a little bit of drama, but it's mostly chill as hell. So that's a really fun one. Watch my 1-minute video about it, and then maybe check the show out. I don't know. You could. I have more anime to chat with you about in much more detail, and we need to get back to the overhead camera in order to do so. And I need to drink some water. And we're going to do all of that right now. Really needed that. As mentioned, there was somebody who the other day, or I was chatting with in a different group of people, and they were just like, hey, so you put in a part of your stream where you drink water? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, I'm stealing that. I'm going to make a thing. I'm making a water time thing in my stream. And I was like, it's so nice because I don't stop to drink water. On Tuesday streams, I do stop to drink water. When I am doing video games, there are times where I can pause what I'm saying out loud and drink some water. But I don't do that on these streams enough, so it's nice to force myself to have a hydration break. It's important, because I'm talking straight for 2 hours. Yeah, good luck, Snuffy. The armor cores look really cool. I've never done one of them, so I can't say for sure that they are fun to build or interesting to build or easy to build or hard to build. I cannot give you any advice with those particular kits. Just that my number one piece of advice for model kit building is if two pieces of plastic aren't going together well, and they should theoretically go together well, it is assume that it might be user error. User error, it can turn out that you're right. that the instructions were unclear, that the pieces were misaligned, that you had to put some pressure on it to actually get together. But what if what if you didn't cleanly cut it away from the sprue? What if you pulled A27 instead of A26? What if? And you force them together and they don't fit right, but it was just your fault. User error is where I start with, and that's on me as well. That is not me saying you're going to be bad at this. That's me saying that's the problem with a lot of the things I have done is, oh shit, I just had the wrong piece here. Now, you probably won't be live streaming while you build this model kit, while you build this Armored Core kit. When you build your spider leg, you're probably not going to be talking on stream and checking chat and thinking about what you need to talk about next and referencing a news story that you want to chat about. You probably won't be doing that. And in fact, I would recommend you don't do that because it makes your life, it does complicate things. So I would say just, if something's not looking right, slow down, see what's up. Maybe see if somebody, Google the thing that you're working on, see if somebody has built it on YouTube, and you can go and check that process out and see how they were building it. I do not paint. Brush paint stuff, I do not have the patience for, and my eyesight is not particularly excellent at that. And I do not have a proper setup for spray paint. I have done some spray painting of model kits in like the 90s. So technology, I'm sure, is vastly improved from where I was at when I last did spray painting. But yeah, I don't have a good setup for that. I certainly couldn't do it in this room. And I don't really have a good place to do it in this house. Someday I'd like to do it, but I don't. Use zero experience plastic model kits snapped together that are this complicated. Some Lego here and there. And the old get you a high glue model back in the day. Yeah. I mean, snap kits are great because you can mess up and kind of fix your mistakes. You can remove pieces. I would say if you don't have, like most people don't have like a spudger like this, they don't have like a kit to work on like iPhones or whatever, or smartphones. But anything like this, anything that could work as a spudger for kind of prying pieces apart is nice to have. If you run into trouble with that, it is nice. All right, let's build this scythe, or iron sickle, as they would refer to it, but we know this is a scythe. You picked up a little kit of tools. Nice, yeah. That is just nice. It's just nice to have some pry tools. Plastic pry tools, certainly great. Sometimes you need something with metal. If you're putting stickers on, I think you can make do with an X-Acto blade for stickers, or a toothpick, or tweezers. You don't need fancy anything. I have these fancy jeweler's tweezers for sticker application. They are reversed from normal tweezers, where they are pressurized to be flat like this, connected, and you put pressure on it to open them up instead of putting pressure to hold them tight. I like them for sticker application, but you don't need those. I got by just fine without them for a long time, but now I swear by them. I wouldn't want to use anything else. All right, let's talk about some anime. Brief overviews of episode, was this going to be episode 3 of The Frontier Lord Begins with Zero Subjects, and episode 2 of Ghost in the Shell, The Ghost in the Shell. The Amazon Prime Science Saru adaptation, the close to the manga adaptation of this good stuff. Frontier Lord Begins with Zero Subjects. Our main character, Diaz, did a fine goddamn job in the war, in the Great War, and protected the land, and he's maybe too strong. They didn't want him in the royal. It's very clear they didn't want him in the royal capital. So they sent him out to this farmland where there's really nothing. And it turns out that let's see. I'm sorry. There's only the Onikin. These are like Oni people. They're humanoids, but they're part demon. They seem cool and fine, and they don't love the fact that there's some random guy here, but they do think that Diaz is strong, so they send a lady to go live with him, Alna, who's like, I'm gonna marry this dude. This dude seems great and strong and nice. We did get introduced to a new character named Klaus, who used to work under Diaz and is basically running away from his problems to work for Diaz and be now the town has him. The town has Alna, some sheep, Diaz, and now Klaus. But more people are coming. So that's good. Also, we briefly met Princess Diana, who was like, hey, I know you, marry me. And then you'll get the peerage, and instead we'll, in the upcoming conflict with my brother, I'll make use of your citizens. And Diaz is just like, I don't have citizens. I don't have anyone for, like, look around, what are you talking about? And she assumed that he would have a lot of people because, apparently, money was supposed to be sent to him so that he could build up a village, and people were supposed to be sent to him so that he could build up the village, and that hasn't happened. And it's probably a prince has confiscated that money. That's probably what happened, which is bad. Klaus is now captain of the guard. They don't really need much to guard, but whatever. He's got cool armor and he's got a job, and that's cool. There are some old ladies show up, and these old ladies have apparently been exiled by a tribe because they were old, and so they were exiled to just go off and die. Basically, the village decided they couldn't support them anymore, which sucks. So these are old ladies from the Kazdek tribe. And he's like, yeah, you ladies can stay here. And he gives the name of the village the Iluk village, which in the Onikin language means first village. So that is a fun little thing. We meet Grandma Maya, who is the leader of these old ladies. And she is just like asking him some questions. She finds out that Diaz is against slavery, which, let's be honest, folks, in this kind of fantasy setting, it's not, it's one of those things where you're like, thank fucking God. Okay, we're not going to deal with a bunch of this shit. Cool. It's just good to know. Because apparently the current lord of the Kazdek people hunts slaves for sport. He apparently is an asshole, and he sucks. There's a merchant that comes by to purchase some of the dragon materials. He is he's a frog man, and this is a cool little character. There's not much to say about the frog guy other than the frog guy seems pretty cool. Anyway, he's just like, hey, so immediately we also deal with the first instance of how does he feel about slave people. There are these two girls, and apparently their parents, before they died, paid him to take them in and protect them, but the money they paid is running out, and so he's just like, I would love for someone else to look after these girls. So they are slaves, but he's treated them like family. And Diaz is just like, yeah, okay. They are elf girls. There apparently not a lot of elves around. Sania and Aya, they speak at the same time because they are clearly twins. And Alna apparently knows what their names mean, even though it's different languages than they speak. Apparently, the names mean beautiful moon and holy moon in ancient language. In ancient language, and the girls tear up because they know this from their parents, and this is memories of that. And now the main four cast is kind of complete. I can tell you this from reading the manga. These girls are vitally important to the story and what happens in there, and they're just good little young gals. They're just nice girls, and it's good that they have something good in their lives. And I had forgotten, because it's been a while since I read the manga, that this is just how they were just introduced in like the 6th chapter or 5th chapter. And then a bunch of days later, a man named Kamalats shows up, because apparently in the last 10 days since talking about it, since those old ladies got basically almost immediately after those old ladies got exiled, the Lord got killed of the Kazdek, or defeated, killed, I can't remember, but he got defeated by his son named Eldon. And Eldon would like to have a meeting with Diaz. And so Diaz is just like, yeah, okay, I guess. Because this could be a big threat. Does he want these old ladies back? What's going on? What's happening here? We don't know. But that is our cliffhanger. That's our big cliffhanger. This scythe looks very fucking cool. I'm going to put it right there. We still have to build the shield, but I wanted to show you this big, cool, dumb scythe as we move into talking about the Ghost in the Shell. Or, as I like to call it, oh, shit. Oh, wow, this shit's gay. And it is. It is gay. It's very gay. Now, I am slowly making my way through the manga. I am watching the anime and then reading the manga after. I will tell you that there is a little bit of stuff in episode 2 that is, how do I put this? Glossed over a little bit. A lot of people are learning lessons about the Major this year. Yes. 1, she is just a fun, weird gremlin. And 2, she is, she enjoys the company of ladies. Let's just say. Also, the thing that's missing in this episode is the prank with the minister. Arameki. Aramaki, the leader of the crew. There's a moment where where they're like yelling at each other, and he's driving off in a little scooter. And the manga has a wide shot of him in the scooter that is not in the anime. And I understand why it's not in the anime, but it is a fucking bummer because it's a really goddamn funny visual. It is so fucking funny to see him like in the distance on his tiny little goofy cart being mad. Anyway, they did do a prank on the minister, and they think like, okay, well, we're getting dissolved because we goofed around and we fucked around. Now we're going to find out. But it turns out that Aramaki maneuvered the events. He is now solely in charge of this group, and that was by design. And they only have to answer directly to the prime minister. So things are looking pretty good, but also he's manipulating people, and, you know, it's a shame. Meanwhile, we'll find out more about this secret government facility that is now that corrupt people were running and doing experiments. Now it's being run by the orphans, and they are having trouble keeping it going. Who could have seen that coming? But yeah, they're running some issues that will become more important later. Then in the future, we start the Junk Jungle series, which is just like the Junk Jungle is basically just like garbage dump full of bullshit. the team has to go and do some spying on the former Gable Republic officer, Colonel Males. They're trying to track down the Puppet Master. Now, a bunch of information gets shared here about what's going on. It's important to know that this information gets shared to the Major while she is seemingly on a boat with two ladies. And they are making out. And it is some sort of throuple scenario. And it is described by fans of the manga for many years and has been described as the Yuri boat. Which is a great way to describe it. I've always found that description to be apt. But of course, that's just because they're all wearing VR simulating things and they're all linked together in their minds. But the physical stuff was still real. It's just they were also in their minds. The manga is more explicit. Well, one version of the manga is more explicit. The original version that came over here to the States cut out a lot of that shit, way more than even the anime did. But the anime, it is still an anime. It is still on Prime. It is still on TV in Japan, I believe. It still needs to have some semblance of decorum. It is just... It is certainly stated that they are in some sort of physical relationship, and it is heavily implied that things are happening. Moves are being made. This does not fit on properly, and it's pissing me off. This is one of the last things we have to do here. So anyway, they have to find the Puppet Master. The Gable Republic in Japan is like in a weird situation because, well, do they want to make an alliance with males? Do they want to make an alliance with the new government? It is a hostile situation. Meanwhile, they really don't care about that. They want to just find this hacker who's been hacking people and doing terrible stuff to people and all that. It turns out that the foreign minister's interpreter has a virus, a hacking virus, and they're using it in order to try to track down the hacker that did it. They go to the city to find the hacker, and the hacker has been using the interpreter's husband, who is a garbage man, as a patsy. And so there is a fight. We get to see our cool robots, our cool, fun personality robots going around doing their thing in this pretty decent battle that we get to check out, which is fun. They try to track down the hacker who flees, and they go into the city. And then in the chaos and the fighting, Togusa is knocked out and lost consciousness, and so the Major is now pursuing the hacker alone, and we'll find out more about that in the next episode. And so I think this is kind of interesting. The anime is really taking this, like, I think pretty cool stance here, or not stance, I don't know, that's not the right word. They are doing a thing where, like, half the story gets, set up. The second half of an episode is setting up the story, is finishing off the story, and the first half of the episode is, like, finishing off the previous story, and then they set up the new one. It allows for cliffhangers in stories that really don't have them. They could be doing all these stories in one episode, but because they do the prologue setup, they are now setting themselves up to be like, hey, and now that's concluded, and now something new is happening. And I think that is an interesting way to do it. It adds some drama to what's going on. This was a brief overview. There is more dense. Believe me, there's other stuff going on. The garbage men having guns and stuff, and there's some dialogue, and I'm not really even exposing some other stuff that's happening in the background. but this is just a sense of what's happening here. It's really fucking good. That's the thing. The important thing to know about what's going on in the Ghost in the Shell is that it rules. You should be watching the Ghost in the Shell. I understand that I am telling you to watch something that is on Amazon Prime. And I appreciate that there are people that are just like, that's a no-go from me, dog. And I understand that. I am telling you that one of the best shows of 2026 is on Prime. My second favorite show of 2025, City, the animation, was also on Prime. It's just, unfortunately, that the truth that some of my favorite shows are on this service. Banana Fish is coming to Netflix, which is kind of cool. I read I don't know if it was a fan theory, a conspiracy theory, perhaps you would even say, that they announced that they got Banana Fish and that there's going to be an English dub and a French dub. And that made some people go, oh, is this because of that French law that's going into effect, that streamers have to have a certain amount of content in French, and that dubbing and animation into French counts? And so you're going to see a bunch of French dubs for things. And that might also mean that Netflix starts grabbing things that have French dubs already and like getting it on the service. And again, that is just a theory. That is not, I don't have any proof of that. But that is a fun theory that I was like, that's pretty cool. If that's what's happening, that's pretty good. All right, so we got our big scythe built here. We got our kit together. We can build the stands, and we'll see how that goes. And then we'll kind of, I don't know, wrap this thing up, finish talking about it. Outside of that, I did a D&D session today. That's probably why my voice is a little rough, is I did a one-shot to help a friend who is working on a module for D&D. So we did some pre-rolled characters. I had a good time with my pre-rolled character. I was just a paladin. I was a paladin who was addicted to gambling, which was a fun thing, because they were convinced that they were very lucky, that it was a gift from their god, that they were skilled at that. And I thought that was a fun bit of business. That was a fun little one-off character. I don't know if I want to do it all the time. So here's our stand. It feels very flimsy. This does not feel good at all. This feels bad, but so if I was going to display this kit with this stand, I would glue these pieces together. And in fact, I will probably do that right now. I will add some liquid cement to this, and I will do that. I will keep this movement fine. This is flimsy and bad. I don't know why they even included a stand like this. I would say they didn't need to do that, but we will add some liquid cement here to this. And then got some on here, so I'm just gonna wipe that off. It'll fade away there, and then we're going to place this here, and then we are going to apply pressure. Yeah, other than that, I've just been playing some video games. I am done with the bowling alley, which is the free job that was sent out to Power Wash Simulator 2. I have not started the Star Wars pack. I will be doing that a week from this Tuesday. That reminds me, I should also promote, hey, this coming Tuesday, I got a cool thing that I want to tell you about. 404ing it, Breaking Down the Internet, is this Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. It's the return. It is the one-person version, me doing it as a live stream. It is me talking about some of my favorite goddamn bullshit for like an hour and change. It will not be a super long stream. But I'm going to talk about some of my favorite stuff from the internet, the good stuff. You should come hang out. There will be, let's see, what can I tell you? I teased this before. There was a short video that was included that was sent by my friend Orahack submitted. That Erica was like, oh, we should look at this. I have now done some research on that and found out more about it, and I can finally just talk more about it and kind of explain the meme. A prank video, a good prank video that I found a while back, a year and a half ago, I would say. We're going to talk about that because that is a thing that when that came out, I was like, God damn, I wish I had 404ing it so I could talk about it. But I didn't have a 404ing it. All right, this kit's on its stand. It's got a scythe. It looks pretty fucking rad. I'll say that. Oh, and this leg piece keeps falling off. So we will take this piece off here. This piece does not like to stay on here on the leg. It has now fallen off twice. That is just going to be a reoccurring thing, I think, where pieces just want to come off. And then I have to try to get them back on. Some of this kit is just unbelievably stiff, and some of it is just like incredibly loose. As I said, the tolerances are all over the place. That piece fell off again, and that is just a nightmare. This back piece falling off is a real goddamn problem. I am sighing because I am like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, we're done. Why am I doing this again? Like, we were done. Why is this thing just... And I will say, at the very least, I'll say this. Having the way that you attach it to a stand be the flimsy piece that likes to come apart is bad design. This is a bad design of this. That the piece that likes to come off all the time, which is this back plate piece here, the fact that this piece is the point that you're connecting your stand to, that's bad design. I'm going to take this off the stand because this is bad. Again, I would never use this stand because it feels incredibly flimsy. So this has to go like this. And then this has to come off here, which we'll do. This can go back on here. This design is cool. The way the side skirt flips and moves around to become the front skirt is cool design. I think that's neat. I think that's very neat. I'm in awe of that. I think that is actually like one of the best pieces of design on this build. Even if it does fall off, it's still a really cool idea. Okay, so this will go and swing around here. Now, we have to swing these open because we have to put this piece on here. This piece is going to go like this. And connect. That fell off again. Again, $27 for a cool model kit, like from a company that I've never bought anything from before. This was a good experiment. I am happy. If I see a kit that really speaks to me from them in the future, I will probably pick up one of their builds. But I am not looking like this is not a thing that I'm like, oh, I'm immediately going to go. I have not pre-ordered or purchased another SNAA kit. I'll say that. They have not gotten me to get another kit of theirs. Okay. That's connected. And then this piece go on here. And that connects that side. All right. And these can go around like this. And finish that. And then we can put this on here. In the middle there. And then let's put on the scythe. And then let's call this kit built. Built. Put it like that. It looks pretty fucking rad. For all its faults, it's pretty fucking rad and pretty fucking cool. I'm gonna move this up here because I want to take a photo of it. Because I am afraid that once I keep moving it, more of it will fall apart. I am a little worried about that. I am a little worried about its continued well-being as a model kit. That it'll just going to be a bit of a nightmare. But I'm done with it now. I can say that I'm done with this goddamn kit. This kit is done, and I'm happy about that. It was a fun build. I don't want to think about it anymore. I have finished the Iron Sicky, as it says on the label. Iron Sicky. It's done. And I can just put all of these sprues in the trash. Thick plastic on the sprues. Nice. You know, didn't feel flimsy. Some of this kit feels flimsy. These sprues didn't feel flimsy at all. I can tell you about what I'm starting on Monday. The box is unfortunately not in great shape, but the kit should be fine. It's just the box is not. The box got a little messed up in travel. Okay, goodbye to the Iron Sickle. Hello to Kamen Rider Skull. That's when I'm going to start on Monday, is the goddamn Kamen Rider Skull. Look at this motherfucker. Look at this smooth motherfucker. I'm very excited to work on this thing. I hope the hat is easy to remove. There are 2 hats. There are 2 hats, everybody. Hell yeah. We get 2 hats out of this? Ooh, I'm going to put a hat on something else then. And I'll find Goku or Gohan and put a hat on it. I don't know shit about Kamen Rider, but I do know that this guy has a goddamn hat, and it is a hat to make him seem like he is a smooth criminal. It is going that kind of a vibe, which is a fun thing to evoke. There are so many stickers. Some of these are big stickers at least, but there's a lot of stickers here. So I'll be doing a lot of sticker work on this kit, which is okay. It will make it work. It'll be fine. There's some cool looking parts in this build that I'm excited about. Some cool looking fake chrome stuff that should be neat. I look forward to working on this kit. Again, we'll be starting on Monday. This is, other than all the stickers, meant to be kind of relaxing. This is the figurized standard Kamen Rider Skull, as you can see there. Look at that! Look at that guy. Oh shit! I didn't realize he has a briefcase too. Hell yeah! He's got a briefcase. He's got the hat. He can hold the hat. He can hold the hat in his hand. Hell yeah! Hell yeah! Hell yeah! Mode change. Oh yeah, the gun. Yeah, the gun. That's mode change. Yeah. So this won't require a lot of panel lining, as you can tell, because it's mostly black with some silver. But maybe there'll be some spots for some panel lining, at least around the hat and stuff. This got on sale on some of the Prime days, and so I picked that up. I've always wanted this. It's on my wish list for like 2 years, and then it dropped in price enough on the sale that I was like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking get it. It was still more than I wanted to pay, but what the fuck do you want from me? It's a goddamn skull-faced Kamen Rider that has a cool hat. Like, I'm just one man, Like, you can only ask so much of me. At a certain point, this was inevitable. At some day, I was going to buy this goddamn model kit. And then here we go. He's got I didn't even mention the scarf. I didn't even mention the scarf yet. The Kamen Rider Skull has a scarf and a hat. And his skull is cracked a little bit. I just love it. It's just everything I want in a dumb build. Am I going to get mad about all of the many stickers that I have to use? Of course I am. I'm me. Of course I'm going to get mad about all of the stickers. You're going to hear me bitch about stickers? Of course you will. I'm gonna fucking complain about it because it's gonna be annoying. But I'm still gonna do it because I want to do it. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. That's gonna be on Monday. That's not now. That's not a now problem. That's a future. It's a future Pat problem that I'm gonna have to apply all those tiny stickers. Like, I don't have to worry about that right now. That is a future Pat problem. A current Pat problem is there's no problem. I'm trying to think. Well, okay. I don't want to start the next thing because it's just going to be stickers immediately. What I can do is, I don't want that. Get out of here. Hold on. Undo. There we go. There's a thing that showed up here that I don't want in my OBS, and there's a scene source control, scene transition, audio mixer. I don't know what's going on here. Sorry, there's a thing that showed up in here, and I want it to go away. I don't know how to get it to go away. Whoop. Sorry, hold on. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. I got this weird new thing in OBS that I don't like, and I don't know what's going on there. Sources. Nope, that's fine. I wouldn't mind sources. Scenes. No, I want scenes to be there. Audio mixer, scenes transition controls. No, controls were good. What's this other fucking dock here? Oh, it's this. Okay. Nope. Not that. It's source icons. No, that was there. Status bar? What's the status bar do? Nope, that's good. I don't know what this is, but there's something weird here that I don't like, and I don't know what's going on. A new thing in my OBS is here, and it's weird, and I don't know what's going on. When I click on something, there's now information about that shows up above it, and I don't know why. A weird dock. I don't know what this is. I don't like it. I'm mad. Not mad, but I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed right now. There it is. I got rid of it. Source toolbar. I didn't need that shit. I don't know what that was doing there. It was weird. And I didn't like it. It's gone now. Anyway, I just want to show you like a couple. I'm going to show you a couple of the model kits that I have here in my backlog that I think are super fucking cool. I'm just going to do this for a couple minutes here just to end off the stream. That you will see someday. The bound dock. This box is fucking enormous. This high grade box is huge. I do not know how big this kit will be. But the bound dock is weird and the colors are fantastic. This feels like a model kit that my girl Rara, Vectroid, should be building. This just screams Vectroid. This kind of purple. I can't wait to build this weird fucking thing. I got that. That was I got a good deal on this. So that's a kit that I will be building in the future. But that is going to be quite a big build here. So we got that. What else? I'll show you a couple other things that I got in the backlog here. The Zagan. Let's talk about the fucking Zagan. This goddamn thing. Do you know they're making new Iron Blooded Orphan kits? Because there is the mobile game Erd Hunt. And so there's going to be like an anime version of Erd Hunt. And so like an animated thing of like, they took like the animated things for the game and they're like putting it out, I think in Japan only. So they released new model kits. They're still putting out technically Iron Blooded Orphan kits. And I've said that I've built every other Iron Blooded Orphan kit. So now I had to buy this thing. But also it's got cool, weird, giant arm shields. And it's neat looking. So I'm not mad that I had to buy it. But I was like, what the fuck? What do you mean your new IPO kits? What else? Is there any other thing that I'm like, oh, I gotta tell you about the thing that I got here. One more. Oh yeah, I got a Blocky's Darth Vader. I'm gonna get a better image than the box. I'll get a better image than the box. But we've only built Transformers from Blocky's, so I thought it would be neat to build one, and it was on sale too. I got a good price on it. I got a good deal on it. But I thought it would be neat to build just something else. I realize also I'm building kits that don't need panel lining, but that's fine. But I want to see how Blocky's does with kits that are not Transformers, because we only built the Transformers so far. So I thought I'd give this a go. I think it'll be neat. That's just some of the kits in my backlog. I have 2 kits from G-Quux that I have not built yet. I have the Atlas Gundam. I have the G Perfect, or I don't know. I've got some Reco kit that at some point I have to build that because I need to talk about the backstory of that kit. I've also got I only have 1 Lego set. I need to buy some Lego. I'm feeling like I don't have a lot of Lego options. I've got a Sonic the Hedgehog thing. So I have Metal Sonic Lego set. I think Tails is in that one. So it's it's going to be fun. But I feel like I don't have a lot of Lego in my backlog. And that actually is because I don't have a lot of Lego. I'm looking at my backlog. There's some fucking stuff there. Yeah, my backlog is got some quality. I think the Gelgoog that's in there is probably the least interesting thing from G-Quux, because we've already built the other Gelgoog that is the better Gelgoog, but we have a Bakata's Gelgoog. I've said Gelgoog too much there, but we do have that. And that's probably the least exciting because we built the other one. But I will build that at some point. Anyway, that's going to do it for tonight. I just felt like I would give you a little tease of what's coming in the future. Some cool builds, some what I'll be starting on Monday and what I'll be building in the future. And of course, I always buy more stuff. I try to find interesting things to pick up here and there. I might take a break from buying some things as I deal with some other purchases that I would be that I would like to be making. That was a weird way to say that. We are going to go on a raid, though. That is how we end every stream around here. We always end with a raid. I'm going to go find somebody doing cool shit out there that we want to go hang out with. And we'll go hang out with them and see what they're fucking up to. I don't know why I got so aggressive there, but I did get very aggressive. So my apologies. Who's doing stuff on a Saturday night that we can go spend a little time with? We have not raided Liz in a long time. I don't know how much longer Liz is going to go because she's been streaming for 11 hours, but Liz streams for long stretches. So I'm not afraid that she'll be done anytime soon. But let's go raid Liz because we haven't raided Liz in a bit. I hope you had a great time tonight. I had a lot of fun. I hope you come along on this raid. I hope you will come back on Monday. I have so many hopes for you. But I hope you come back on Monday for a new model build that'll be fun. And I want to thank you all so much for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your night. I hope you come along on this raid. I'll talk to you soon, everyone. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye.